What's up, everybody? JP Guidry here. I hope everybody's having happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Everybody gearing up for a safe and happy New Year's Eve. I wanted to hop on today and talk a little bit about goal setting and kind of talk about some tips and suggestions on how to do that. You know, we've got we've got New Year's resolutions coming up that say what you want about it. You know, everybody kind of sees this as a new start, new year, and trying to make some positive changes in their life. So goal setting being a part of that. Before we start real quick, I want to give a shout out to the VGA repping this sweet hat that they gave me. Veterans Golf Association do tons of great stuff for veterans and dealing with PTSD, suicide awareness, and just giving veterans a positive outlet in golf, you know, something to positively focus on and get involved in when they come home. So Cody Nunn has done a great job with the South region, Louisiana region, and Southeast Louisiana region of the VGA. You know, really growing it and putting together some great events and some great courses, giving the veterans access to these courses. So a big shout out to him. Big shout out to Yancey. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, so I'll try not to butcher it, but look him up. Set the Guinness Book of World Records for most rounds walked in a year. Went out last Saturday to help celebrate his 911th round, which would be his final one for 2019. So he walked 911 18-hole rounds. So that's pretty insane. You know, I was blessed and grateful enough to be able to kind of help him out, keep him as healthy as he can be, and keep him moving, keep him going to kind of get to this goal. And he did all this to bring awareness to PTSD and veteran suicide awareness. So tons of respect for Yancey and what he did, and he plans on keep going. So he averaged, I think if you average it out, about 45 holes of golf a day, which is insane, walking. And so some days, obviously, he did much more than that to build a surplus, you know, with unexpected weather and things like that. So truly impressive feat, and you know, truly great guy of going out and doing that for the cause he did. Also got my 18 Strong shirt on. If you don't know who 18 Strong is, you don't know about the podcast, I don't know where you've been, but Jeff's been great to me and helped me out and grow in my career and get me started in my own podcast and things like that. So, you know, give the 18 Strong podcast a listen there. All right, so let's get started on today's topic, goal setting. So with any goal setting, there's a couple things you want to keep in mind when doing this. So especially when it comes to health and wellness, you know, and long-term development type things, is you want to make sure that whatever goals you're setting are realistic. So if it's not something you think you can stick to for, let's say, 3 months, then you may want to kind of take a step back and take a look at that goal and the plan you had to get to that goal. You know, so if you have this extreme goal, it's, you know, good to kind of shoot for the stars, if you will, but you have to be realistic in things you know you're going to do. You know, you're kind of, I think we tend to set these big goals, and sometimes we can set ourselves up for failure, and you know, end up kind of knocking us back, you know, and mentally and emotionally, and getting us off track. You know, so I kind of like to look at my goals in 12-week periods, 3-month periods, you know, and kind of reassess at that. You know, I have bigger goals, so I don't necessarily call it a New Year's resolution, but every year I kind of set some goals physically, personally, you know, spiritually, business-wise, financially, you know, things that in the next year I want to address and move towards. And then within those goals, I set smaller goals, you know, 3-month goals, 12-week goals. And then at the end of every 12 weeks, I kind of take a look. Some of them I meet and progress. Some of them I don't meet, and maybe kind of need to step back and say, okay, well, what did I do? Was that goal really important to me? Was it a realistic goal? You know, and sometimes our priorities change, and those goals we might set might not be that important to us. So, you know, that's why I like to kind of revisit these things every 12 weeks or so. So it allows me to kind of progress, you know, where I need to, and maybe change my focus in areas as life changes and things like that changes. So, so the first kind of real tip would be make sure you set realistic goals. And again, this can be, long term, say 1 year, 5 year, 10 years, so on and so forth. And short term, 3 months, 6 months, something like that. 1 month. And I kind of like to break my long-term ones down into smaller steps to get there as well. The second one is have a plan. So great, you have these goals. You want to lose 20 pounds. You want to save up $5,000. You want to pay off debt, things like that. Whatever it is, you can't just set the goal. You need to have a plan to get there. And so every goal I set, I like to sit down and write out a plan. What am I going to do? What am I going to do every day? What am I going to do every week? What am I going to do every month to reach these goals? So let's say weight loss. Let's say you want to lose 20 pounds. And you're probably not going to be able to read this, but I'll show it up at the end of the year in the video when we recap it. But, how are you going to get there? What are you going to do to get there? You're going to work out 3 times a week. Are you going to, keep a food diary or track it via nap? Are you going to do some specific diet or eating plan that you're going to stick to? Are you going to, and then in the details of that, how many calories you're going to take in a day, how many calories you're going to take in a week, fat, protein, that type of thing. This is where kind of having coaching and guidance helps get you there, because not everybody knows that. And so they can help you set that plan, or we can help you set that plan in action to help you meet that goal. But you need to have a plan. You can't just throw the goal out there and kind of wish it to happen. If it's saving money, obviously, the plan may be you're going to take, $100 out of every paycheck and put it in savings, whatever that may be. You may sell some items you don't need, things like that. You may to take on some extra work to make a little extra money. So set your goal, set your long-term goal, make sure it's relatively realistic, but the longer-term goals can maybe be a little more kind of out there, if you will. But take those long-term goals and break them down into shorter-term goals and make those definitely more realistic. They don't need to be super easy. They need to be something that's a true goal. That's something worth working for, but it needs to be reasonably attainable too. Otherwise you're just going to keep setting yourself up for failure. And then it can set you back in your process of becoming a better person, becoming better financially, healthier, more fit, whatever that may be, whatever your goals are. So we've taken our goals, we've made them long-term, we've made them short-term, we've made a plan. And then, reaffirming those goals on a regular basis. So what are we doing to reach those goals? Are those goals still worthwhile goals for us based on changes in our life? So that's why, again, I always sit down every 3 months and kind of take a look at my goals for that previous 12 weeks and say, did I meet them? Did I not meet them? Why didn't I not meet them? If I met them, what's the next step? If there is a next step. If I did meet them, again, do I need a better plan? Do I need to, are those goals not really that worthwhile to me, that they're not really something that should have been a goal in the first place, or no longer a goal for me? And so if not, kind of reevaluate. But, I kind of look at all areas of my life, health and fitness. I usually have some goals. Most of mine are related to kind of, lifting. It may be 1 rep maxes I want to hit. It may be certain kind of physical accomplishments I want to get. Sometimes it's weight loss or body composition changes. Right now I'm in kind of the middle of trying to lose a few inches off my midsection is my main goal. Sports performance goals, so most of mine are related to golf, getting my handicap down. Shooting, my goal for this year is to shoot even par, 72, or even par, I guess, regardless of the par of the course. Right now my best round is 76, so and then trying to get my handicap down to, I'm hovering around a 10, so my goal is to get down around a 7 or a 6. I know what I have to do to get there. I have to put in time, put in practice. I know the areas of my game I have to work on, and that may change in 3 months. You know, right now it's a lot of short game, 100 yards and in, but in 3 months from now, you know, what I need to work on may change. You know, I have my financial goals. I have my business related goals. I have my kind of spiritual and mental well-being goals, you know, and try to make your goals quantifiable as well. You know, have them as objective as you can, have them measurable so you know truly whether you're making progress to their goals, and where you need to make changes. So hope this helps. So don't really know why I wrote this down, but basically set some long-term goals, at least a year. You know, you can go beyond that. I personally don't really set much. I have some like vague 5 and 10 year goals, but I have like a goal, yearly goal, and then I break them down into 3-month goals, 12-week goals, and then I write out a plan to reach each of those 12-week goals, and then rehash those every 12 weeks, revisit them, and make changes as needed. So hope this helps. Kind of a long-winded way of getting around to this, but hope everybody has a happy new year, and let's get started on those resolutions.